and it's navigating me via Apple CarPlay to the mall that I entered into the navigation. Hi there, and welcome to Tlyard, and welcome to my Tesla Model 3. Have you ever wanted to have Apple CarPlay in your Tesla? Unfortunately, Apple CarPlay is not built in to the Tesla operating system. But there are ways to get Apple CarPlay to your Tesla. And I actually have one here. Tlyard was kind enough to send me this one for review. So let's see what this little thing can do to get Apple CarPlay into my Tesla. So let's start with unboxing it and then set it up. Let's take a look. So the box is quite simple. We see a picture of the device here. We have online updates or over-the-air updates. We have a wireless connection, so it's wireless CarPlay. Plug and play, so hopefully it's really easy to set up. And navigation, so that means that we can get navigation via Apple CarPlay through this. On the side here, we have simply for Tesla. On the other side, we also have for Tesla. Nothing on the other side, and just a QR code and some information about the voltage and amperage that this device uses. And this is made in China. And on the back here, we get some more information about the device and some more details on the features that this product offers. So we looked at the outside of the box, but of course what we're interested in is inside the box. So let's take a look. Did you think I forgot my trusty unboxing knife, even though I'm doing the unboxing in my car? No, I didn't. So let's open it up and get this box opened. So let's turn it around. It's on the side here. So let's try to cut the plastic without cutting ourselves. Here we go. Oops, cutting the box a little bit. Let me see. A little bit tight squeeze here. So try the other side. Maybe it worked better. Yeah, that was a little bit more smooth. So let's see if that's enough. Take the plastic off the box for the first time. Get rid of the plastic. And this seems to just slide out here. So let's see. Yep, it slides out. And this is just a sleeve. So we have a black box. And if we open it up, we have this tiny little device. It's really small. And it's branded with the Tlyard logo. That's nice. Nothing else in the lid, but let's smell it. Yeah, typical factory smell. So this is the tiny device. It's really small. It's actually smaller than I thought. And it has a small protective cover here. So let's take that off. Here you go. All glossy and nice. On this side here, we just have some regulatory information. On this side, we have a USB Type-C port for charging. Nothing on this side, nothing on this side. And it seems like some kind of speaker on this side. We'll figure it out. And maybe, I don't know if this is a microphone, because we have kind of a speaker grill here and then an additional hole here. We'll see. So if we put this to the side for a moment and take a look what we have more in the box. Under this tray here, we have some cables. We have a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, and we are also provided with a USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. So depending on the model year of your Tesla, you might still have the USB Type-A port. So it's nice that they provide both USB Type-C to USB Type-C and USB Type-C to USB Type-A port or plug. And finally, we have a small instruction manual, and it's actually quite thick for such a small device. So nothing else in the box, so let's put this to the side. And we have some instructions here. I'm not gonna bore you and going through every page, but it seems like it's quite detailed and in multiple languages. I will read through the instructions before setting this up, so I know how to set it up for you guys. So in the next part, we will go through how to set this tiny little thing up to be able to use Apple CarPlay in your Tesla. The first step in the installation process is to take this little device and connect it to power. So we have this USB Type-C port here. So we plug one end on that side. And then in my Tesla, I have USB Type-C ports in the compartment down here. So let's find those USB Type-C ports and connect the device to it. You see down here that we have two USB Type-C ports, and we can just use either of them to connect the adapter to it. So let's connect to one of them like this. And if we look here, we right away get some action on the adapter. We saw some lights coming on, and now we see the power icon, and we should wait for the Wi-Fi icon to show up. There it is, the Wi-Fi icon on the device. So now that we have power and the Wi-Fi is broadcasting on the device, we have to connect via Bluetooth to this device on my phone. So I go to the Bluetooth settings, scroll down and try to find the device, and it's this one called AutoKit, and each device I would guess has a unique number. Mine has 6D4A, so I click that one and I should pair. And you can decide to allow contacts and favorites to sync. Let's do that. We have a pairing request. And now we can connect to CarPlay. Let's do that. So now we see that it's connected and we have a blinking icon here. But the next thing is we somehow need to get CarPlay up and running on the Tesla screen. So the next step is to connect the car's Wi-Fi to the Wi-Fi of the device. So we click the car icon, click the LTE icon or Wi-Fi, depending on whether you are already connected to some Wi-Fi. We have the same name here as we saw on the phone, AutoKit 6D4A. Let's click that. And it's a really easy password. Just enter 8 8s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And confirm. Let's see if it connects. Wait for it. Yep, it has connected. And one more thing, we have to make sure that we check the remain connected in drive, so we can use Apple CarPlay while driving. That's really handy, right? So now we're connected to the device, but we have to somehow display the Apple CarPlay interface. It's quite simple. We just go into the menu here, open the browser up, and we write into the URL tespush.com, and we can even use testcarplay.com. But let's try this one and see what happens. And indeed, we have Apple CarPlay. And we can even put it into full screen. Let's see how that looks. I think it looks a little bit better not in full screen, because it gets a little bit stretched in full screen. So let's keep it on the half of the screen. It seems to be designed to be like that. But now we can definitely see that we have Apple CarPlay on our Tesla. So if you click here, we get the app overview as we know and love from Apple CarPlay. We have the phone app, music, maps, messages, now playing, auto, podcasts and audiobooks. We have more pages, we have news, calendar settings, all the usual suspects, all the apps that I have on my phone that support Apple CarPlay. We even have Spotify here, plugs here, if you have to look for charging stations, and yet another page. It just depends on what apps you have on your phone that support Apple CarPlay. It's quite smooth actually. Lagging a little bit, but I think it's quite usable. So if you click the phone app, you will have your favorites, your recents, your contacts, and you can dial any number, and you have the voicemail. If we go back, we have Apple Music. I don't have an Apple Music subscription, but I can of course play what I have on my phone. We have maps that we saw on the main screen. We have messages. Let's try the podcasts app and play a podcast that I'm already listening to.
This is a media app.
It works, but the audio is coming from my iPhone. So I'm wondering if it's possible to get the audio to play on my car, but at the moment it's only playing from my phone. But at least the podcast app works, and I can actually stop the podcast from my phone, or I can just control it from the Tesla screen. So that works. And we have audiobooks, we have news, we have the calendar, we have settings. What do we have there? All kinds of settings for Apple CarPlay, which can change the wallpaper, put to silent mode. We even have Apple Intelligence. So there are a few settings here. So let's try the Apple Maps functionality. So we see the car appears here, and we can click the screen to get the search menu. So get the keyboard up and try to look for a mall that is nearby here. Here we go. It works. And we can just click go. See what happens. It works. So let's see what happens.
Then take the first left.
Okay, it's the same thing happening as with the podcast. I'm getting the audio from my phone. I hear it clearly, but it would be better if I hear the audio from the car's audio system. But let's see what happens with the navigation if we start driving. So let's do that. And you can see when I put the car in drive, the browser window is still here. So let's drive and see what happens. How closely will the map follow? I'm turning. It's a little bit bright here. Hope you see the screen.
Left.
And it says turn left. I don't know if you heard that. It's quite accurate.
In 450 meters, turn left onto Vatn-Sendevarf.
And it's navigating me via Apple CarPlay to the mall that I entered into the navigation. So this is really working. As I said, I just have to figure out if I can connect the audio to my car, then this will be perfect. Apple Maps in my Tesla Model 3. Really nice. But since I'm not going to this mall, I'm gonna turn here and we're going to go back to the recording place.
Proceed to the route.
And now since I went off route, it's of course trying to route me back to the route. So let's see here.
Audio is set to alerts only. Only important instructions will be announced. Proceed to the route.
So if we click here, we can end the route here. And we've ended the navigation. And we can go back to the main apps page. So we're almost back to the place where I was recording. And you can actually see that I get the messages up on the screen as well. I have one unread message. And now we see when the back camera, which is really dirty at the moment, comes up, we lose the browser window. So let's see what happens when we've finished backing up and we put it to park. The browser window is gone. But if we just open the browser again, we have the Apple CarPlay still there because it's keeping the URL in the browser. So that's not that big of an issue. We just open the browser again and everything is in place where we left it. We of course still have this little device connected, but since we have this nice compartment here, we can just keep the little device down here and it will still work. As you can see, the device is in the compartment and we can open everything still, even though it's down in the compartment and we can't see it. So it's quite invisible. We can have Apple CarPlay in the browser and no one knows how we did it. It's just hidden down in the small compartment. So one thing that you should know is every time you come into the car, you of course have to connect to Apple CarPlay via this device, but that's just a few simple steps to do it, and your car should remember your Wi-Fi password, so you don't have to enter that. It's simply connecting the Bluetooth to the device again when you come into the car. One thing I want to show you before I close this off, we have the auto menu. Here you have all kinds of settings. You can see what device is connected, and it actually has an auto connect functionality. So maybe you don't even have to connect every time you come into the car. That's really neat. You have the Wi-Fi information, and here you can even change the Wi-Fi password. So if you want to have it a little bit more secure than the 8-digit 8s, then you can do that. You have information about your Bluetooth connection. You can change some display settings. You can have the frame rate as standard or fast, mode for picture and video, and you saw there that when I changed the frame rate, the UI refreshed itself. And let's see if it's any quicker. Yeah, I actually think it's a little bit smoother. That's nice. So here you can change the resolution as well. You can have the night mode to turn on certain times, or just have it to off. And you can turn it off manually if you want as well. And you can turn it off as easily. You can change the language, and here we have English, and I guess this is Chinese. And then we have the system menu, where we can change whether it's a left-hand drive or right-hand drive car. I'm in the left-hand drive, so I have that. And then we have the About page, where you have some more detailed technical information about the device. And here you can even check if there are some software updates for the device. Let's check that. And in this case, I'm currently running the latest version of the software. So then we just click home to get back to the main apps page. So this was Apple CarPlay in the Tesla with this tiny device. And I'm actually surprised how well this works. And it's probably the easiest setup to get Apple CarPlay into your Tesla. It's a small device and quite easy to set up. And seems like when you've set it up once, it's just plug and play. As I mentioned in the beginning, Tlyard was kind enough to send me this little device for Apple CarPlay for review. And for you, the audience, I have a discount code that you can use on the tlyard.com site when you do the checkout, and you get 30% off. You simply have to use TechPlower, yes, the channel name, during the checkout process to get 30% off any product you want on the site. And maybe it's this little guy to get Apple CarPlay into your Tesla. I really hope you liked this video. And now you can get CarPlay into your Tesla. And if you like this video, check out my other content on my channel, and please consider subscribing, because it really helps my channel grow. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. See you in my next video.